good morning, everybody, and welcome to Invisible Condition. It's not all in your head. I'm your host, Jeff Pearson, and we created this show for you because we wanted everybody with an invisible condition to know beyond the shadow of a doubt that you have a voice, you have a community, and you're not alone. And I am so excited for the show today. This is going to be so cool. I have two of my good friends on today, two guests. It's going to be extra fun. Two for the price of one today. Norman Wasserman and Lori Landine. And Lori Landine, you probably recognize the name from a previous show, which she was awesome. Well, I'll let her talk about a little bit about what she talked about on the show. But it's crazy. One afternoon in July of 2018, this is part of his story, and he'll tell you a little bit more, but he wasn't feeling well. He went to the hospital. He was told that he had a life-threatening thing, few days to live. I mean, he's fine. He's on the show, so it's all good. But I'm going to let him tell you a little bit of that story. But, oh, my gosh, it's crazy. And Norman, he owns Friend Entertainment USA and is known for his podcast, The Music Man. I'm going to let him tell that because he's changed the name a little bit. So I'm going to let him tell you about that. But for the past 35 years, he has been using an absolutely killer winning formula to assist charities and nonprofits with fundraising. And it's phenomenal. I can't wait to tie into this and start using it for Hydro with Hope. It's going to be phenomenal. And Lori Landine, she was, like I said, she was a previous guest, so you'll probably recognize her, but she is now collaborating with Norman, kind of working with him to put together these concerts to benefit her organization as well, the Lori Landine Foundation. So and she was on the show, season 1, episode 27 back in July. So you can check her out. It was a great show, and she's an amazing person. So let us welcome them to the show. Let's bring them on here. Here comes Lori, and here comes Norman. Oh, my goodness. Okay, guys, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hey, nice to be here.
I am so excited to have you guys here. This is so cool. I don't normally have two people on the same show at the same time, so this is going to be...
Well, you don't have two people like us, that's for sure.
Well, that is 100%. 100%. I don't usually have 2 for 1, and I certainly don't have this caliber right here. This is phenomenal. So, all right. It's crazy how, and so, okay, our show is called Invisible Condition, right? So that's usually what we talk about. And I know, Lori, you were on the show before. And so maybe just recap real quick what you were back in season 1, episode 27, talking about ulcerative colitis, right?
Yes.
Tell us just a little bit about that show.
So, yeah, my background is music and theater, and in 2012, I was diagnosed with what's called an incurable illness. There is no known cause, supposedly, and there's no cure. And it was ulcerative colitis is what I had. And they gave me 9 pills a day for the rest of my life and said that no matter what I did, there was no way I would ever be able to get off the medication, not to even try. And so I studied it. I learned that people died from this illness. They were on chemotherapy. They were having their gut removed through surgeries. And I knew that I had to find a different path. So I dove into health and wellness, and I became a board certified health coach, a certified essential oil coach, and a life coach in the process. And I've been off all medications for now over, I believe it's now 11 years, actually. So
yes,
back on the time. And I did it all through natural ways. And it has been an incredible journey, not always easy, very difficult at times, took a lot of courage. I knew I had to find my own path for my health and my life. I didn't want to die. I didn't want to go through chemotherapy. I didn't want to go through surgeries. I needed to find a better way. And that I did. And I think oftentimes with our illnesses, there is often a better way if we are willing and courageous enough to step out and figure it out and take control of our health.
100%. And I have stories like that about how I've recovered from various brain surgeries too. And when the medical community gave up on me, I found a natural way to do it. So it was same kind of thing. And it's amazing to me how few people pursue that, and they just keep taking the pills a day. So yeah, kudos to you for not giving up, man. That is phenomenal. And if you hadn't gone through that, and if you hadn't, everything leads to the next thing, right? And if
it doesn't. And one of the things that I left with that last session I was on, the last show I was on, was that the obstacle is the way. Because if it wasn't for that illness and my transitions, I would not have shifted from my career in music and theater, and I would not be doing what I'm doing today. I wouldn't be anywhere near where I'm at today. And it's been part of my path and my journey. And I think oftentimes these challenges that we get in life, even life-threatening challenges, are given to us so that we can become the person we need to be.
100%.
It shifts our path. That's what happened for me.
100%. And I totally believe that. And yes. And I want to talk to Norman too, because he had, I didn't know this when I met you, but when we did our show, when I came on your show, and I know you changed it up a little bit, the title, so I'm gonna let you talk about it, say it, but you talked about a condition that you a scare you had. Tell us about that real quick.
Well, it was a little bit more than a scare. It was maybe a shock.
Yeah.
Especially, let me just say hello to all your fans. And let me just say that those of you that are tuning in and watching, Jeff Pearson is the man. And he doesn't have to do what it is that he's doing. He's got his own situations and his own hassles and his own pluses in life, but he's devoted, and he's devoted to helping people. All right, and so am I. So is Lori. I mean, the three of us here do different functions within helping people. So let's start off with the fact that in 5 weeks I'm going to be 75 years old. I did my first concert in 1988. I was a member of a charity who never did anything like this before, but I used to go to, and by the way, I'm from Long Island, New York, but I used to go to all these oldie doo-wop shows, and they were always a fundraiser. So I was with a couple of my friends, and I said, why don't we think about doing something like this? We belonged to an organization called the Jericho Athletic Association, which is kind of like, it's a small town in Long Island, New York, and it's the Little League soccer program, basketball, male, female, yada, yada. And I was a coach, manager, and on the board of directors. And then they told me, they didn't ask me, and they told me I was the new president. So the new president made an offer. I said, we go to all these shows and they're successful. Why don't we give it a shot? Well, no, none of us know anything about it. I'll take care of it. Worst thing I could have ever said in my life. I didn't know my first thing on what to do. I've always been a people person. I had a people business at the same time. I was a headhunter. I was a corporate recruiter. I employed 100 people, and I was in that business for 30 some odd years. Okay, that being said, during that time of doing that, I made this proposal, and I came back and I said, I just costed out the show. The show's going to cost us $16,000. We have 714 seats, and that means that we're going to have to do 2 shows in one night in order to make any kind of money at all. Do we want to do this? Now, the people that I were with were 15, in addition to me, 16 business people. We all had our contacts. Some of these people were in their daddy's business. Some of these people didn't know what it was like to go out and suffer, or to have a problem and how to rectify it and change things, because God gave them everything to their parents, and then they gave it to them. Okay. Yeah. So I went out and I printed out all the tickets. I gave everybody 50. By the way, no computers, no databases, no nothing. I gave them all 50 tickets, and every month we would have our meeting. And how's everything going? Oh, tickets are going great. Everything is wonderful. Bottom line, I'll go speed this up. 2 months before the show, nobody sold a ticket.
Oh.
I need 1,400 tickets. Nobody sold a ticket. It's probably the easiest sale that anyone could ever make in any type of industry, and I will explain. We had 5 premier oldie doo-wop groups, nationally, internationally known, like the Drifters,
Nice.
like the Cadillacs. I mean,
Yeah.
I had some major, not that you guys are too young. Maybe some of your
Yeah.
fans, might know, but you have no idea what I'm talking about. Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, those kind of like groups. So I couldn't cancel the show. We were in too deep to cancel it. So I picked up the telephone and I started making phone calls. I called all my clients. I called my friends. I called relatives. I called up a couple of friends of mine that own bus companies. And I picked up people. We picked up people from Brooklyn, Queens, and Manhattan. And we brought them out to Long Island. We had about 5 or 6 buses. That put about 500, 600 people. Took care of one show. Basically, it took care of one show. And then I just ranted and raved. And bottom line, we made $6,500 in that show. This is 1988.
Nice.
And as far as the board goes, not one person from the board showed up. Not one person did they show up. Not one person bought a ticket. All right. It was all on me.
Man.
Must have been a reason it was on me.
Well.
All right. And
yeah.
I said, I did another. They asked me to do it again. And I did it again like an idiot, but I had something in the back of my mind that said, you know what? If this one is successful too, I can take this and make it a business. Mm-hmm. And the second one was we made less money, but because now I advertised on the radio, in the newspaper, and I added an extra group. But I also had now a bit of a database, not really a database, handwritten, put it in the mail, snail mail type of, we sent out. Okay. And it was successful. Then I resigned. And I took one of the performers, I made him my contact person for the talent. And I took care of the business aspects.
Nice.
And then over the next 3-4 years, we were together until he got grubby and put his hands in the bank and disappeared.
Oof.
So you can figure out what that means. But then I just started Friend Entertainment USA, and it's now 35 years that I'm helping small and medium-sized charities raise money. And it works. I have certain rules. I have certain regulations. If you follow what it is that I do, you're going to make money. You argue with me. Some people do have an argument with me and want to do things their own way. And then they, God forbid, wind up getting hurt. So don't reinvent my wheel. If you're ever interested and you want to talk to me, just go for the ride. Just go for the ride. So let me tell you, now this happened. Let's take us now to 2018. And Jeff was just telling you that I wound up in the hospital. It was a Friday afternoon. It was the end of July. I said to my wife, I said, I'm really not feeling well. It was after 5. No doctors were in. We went to an outpatient clinic. They took an x-ray, they did whatever it may be, and they said immediately go to the hospital. So we immediately went to the hospital. By the time I got there, I was almost passed out. They wheeled me inside. I fell asleep on my wife's arm, on her shoulder, and I woke up in the recovery room. I had no idea that I was even operated on. And by the way, my wife's an RN, so she took care of all that stuff. See, I'm lucky. I had someone to watch over me. I had an advocate.
Yeah.
Not just God, but I had an advocate to watch over me.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really scary because they told my wife that I had 3 or 4 days to live because I was also sepsis. And they couldn't find out why I was sepsis. And anyone who knows, anyone who's had it, your chances are not very good. Mm-hmm. After 5 months in the hospital, and a weight loss of, let's say, I went from like 165 to 129. I was emaciated, I was depleted, whatever, but I'm still alive. And I took that as a sign that I need to continue doing what it is I'm doing. So now it's 35 years later. I help all kinds of charities anywhere in the country. Can I give my phone number?
Absolutely. Yes.
And my phone number, for anyone who may be interested, is 631-698-9696. It's 631-698-9696. And if you're interested to have a conversation, I'm more than happy to help you and explain anything for you. Jeff also mentioned about the Business Power Hour, which is no longer the Business Power Hour. I found out that somebody had a trademark to this business that I had, and it's now called the Business Awareness Hour. Business Awareness Hour. Why? Because Friend Entertainment and the Business Awareness Hour is all about awareness. Nobody will do business with you unless they know who you are. No one's making a donation to your charity unless they know who you are. I'm the guy that will put you on the map, and people will recognize who you are, and what you do. And I've been doing that for about 6 years. We have just under 10,000 followers nationally. And that's what we do. In regards to Lori, I am helping Lori with her foundation, and I'm sure she's going to talk to everybody and just remind everyone what it is that she does. She's a wonderful, wonderful individual. Jeff's not half bad, but Lori is really she is great.
I'll take that.
All right, accept it. And it's really a pleasure. There's a reason why you and I met, Jeff.
Absolutely.
And there's a reason why Lori and I met.
Yes.
And when I joined this network group that the two of you happen to be with, there was a reason why I joined that too. And that's where Lori and I met. That's where you and I met. There's purpose and there's reason for everything. For everything. That's it. That's what I got.
100%. And I know I've only been part of that group for a couple of months, but I can't imagine. I've met so many people that have impacted me so greatly over the last couple of months in just that group. And it's just, Lori talking about, there's always a path and a plan, and you look back and go, oh, there's where God connected all the dots. I can just do that in the last 6 months. So it's phenomenal. So, well, I tell you what, here's what we need. Here's what we're going to do, because we are in a spot in the show that I'm going to actually do a break real fast for a commercial. And then, but I want to throw this out there before we go to the break. We are going to be talking to Lori at the end of the break, and we're going to be talking to more about with Norman, and we're going to put that phone number back up again on the screen next time, and we're going to put websites up. And so, because everybody with the nonprofit that wants to raise money needs to talk to Norman and needs to talk to Lori. You guys got to reach out. They're the best in the business. You got to talk to them. So anybody, you've got them for the next about 30 more minutes, 30, 40 more minutes. So make the most of it. We're live. Let's do it. So, and we're going to go to a commercial, and we'll come back and hit the ground running.
Eva Black-Occurrence here, and I am the host of One Punch Superstars, where we meet real people who chose to fight for their hopes and their dreams and become the champions of their destiny. You can find us on Achieve TV every Tuesday and Wednesday at noon Mountain Standard Time, right here on E360 TV.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Here we go. We're gonna let Lori talk a little bit now. Let's talk to Lori. Lori, you have done you. I don't think we have time to go into depth of all the things you've done, because you are quite the accomplished person with your career and with. I mean, you've done so much, and I'm so glad to know you, because it's just so cool that everything you've done. But talk about the newest thing you're kind of partnering with Norman. What is this new endeavor that you're doing?
Well, I don't know that Norman would say I'm partnering with him, but I say I'm partnering with him for life, because what he does is exactly what I need. And it ties my entire life together. I know that we were brought together for a reason, and it makes me teary when I talk about this. So sorry. It's one of those emotional things. My background is music, theater, speaking. I've got this foundation where I'm serving people around the world. And this has allowed me, partnering with him in his business of concerts, allows me to bring all of those pieces together, to be able to speak on stage and to be able to share and bring awareness to my foundation and all of the people I serve around the world through music events, through concerts, tributes, benefit tributes, concerts. And it's just so beautiful. And when he connected with me, it was like, this was a gift. This is what I was looking for, but I didn't know it. I hadn't thought of doing this. And it's like, when he brought me into this, it was like, I don't want to go anywhere else. This is my path now. You know, this is my path for bringing awareness. It's my path to be able to stand on stage and speak and share the beautiful stories, incredible gifts and stories that I have of the people I've met around the world and served and saved and transformed their lives. It is my path. It is my opportunity. And I plan, and I tell him this all the time, I plan to do this all the way across the country, maybe even internationally eventually, and be able to bring awareness to people, to raise funds for the foundation so that it can help support all of those that we're serving. Currently, I'm in 6 countries. In April, I plan to open number 7, which is Fiji. And then I've got about 20 already waiting with connections to open service in. And this is my path to be able to generate the funding to get this going and to expand, and my opportunity to share out all of the beautiful stories and bring awareness to people of the need that is out there, including in the US. I mean, it's not just everywhere else. It's the entire world need. And I serve worldwide. So it's just a beautiful opportunity that I grasped hold of, and I don't want to let go. I want to stay on this ride.
Sounds like
I'm in a lot of trouble.
Sounds like you're stuck with her, Norman.
I don't know if I want all of this.
Too late.
He did it. He's a good salesman.
Now we all know where to find you. You can't hide now.
Well, that's a good thing, because I
love it.
I do help a lot of people, so that's a
really
good thing.
does. And
I mean, you too. I mean, I know I feel like I've been a little slow on the uptake with this, but I know we have talked about scheduling a benefit concert to raise funds for Hydro with Hope as well, which is our nonprofit night. And believe me, I've been working behind the scenes trying to figure that out, but it's been slow. So I thank you for being patient with me, but we'll get something rolling, get something planned at the beginning of the year, hopefully. So, but I tell you, where did the idea for benefit concerts come? Like you could do any kind of, as the promoter that you are. I mean, you obviously have a talent. You could do anything. Why benefit concerts?
Because I don't want to do anything else. It's simple. Music is a universal language. Everybody, one more time, everybody likes some form of music. And that's where I come in. I put on concerts that are Motown, R&B, rock and roll, jazz, disco, easy listening, Latin, reggae, heavy duty rock and roll. It doesn't matter. You tell me what you like. I make suggestions. If I don't have what you need, and believe me, I do, I will go and I will find it. And if we have time towards the end, I can give you an example of my Zach Brown group that we have. So let me just explain. I don't know if there's anybody else in the country, now this is a broad statement, who does what I do. There are people that you can buy talent from. There are people that will get you a venue. There are people that you can advertise with. There are people that you can market with and secure talent with. I do it all. So when people say, what do I have to do? I tell them very simply, and I told this to Lori a long time ago. You take your index finger and you hit the send button. And that send button is going to send out a flyer that's going to advertise who's going to be on your show.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, hi, I saw the flyer with the teenagers. I'm sorry, with the Temptations. All right, I'd like to get a couple of tickets for that. Hold on, please. So that's basically how it works. Now, Lori will go and say, there's a little bit more to it than that. And she's 100% right. But if you follow you can't do a concert unless you're in the town. You need boots on the ground to make it happen. You can't do a concert from Seattle and do it in Maryland. It's not going to work for you unless you have people in Maryland that have the boots to do the walking and the talking and whatever it may be. To give you an idea of the type of shows that I do, first of all, they are all tribute performers. They are not the original artists. Why? You can't afford them. Can't afford them.
Yeah.
We're doing a show with Donna Summer. If God willing, Donna Summer was alive, she'd be an easy $70,000, $100,000 to have on the show.
Yeah.
So I have a phenomenal tribute act that I get from Las Vegas or somewhere else in the country, all right, where they have what's called the legends. And these are people that perform as other people. I have a show coming up, the Barry Manilow show. I have Neil Diamond, The Temptations, Queen, Creedence Clearwater Revival, Gladys Knight and the Pips. You name it, I got it.
I think I saw one that had Frank Sinatra and Barbara Streisand.
I just did a Barbara Streisand concert. We sold it out in a beautiful, crazy place. It was a library. So people say, a library. The library had 400 plus seats. It was a performing arts center. So we did the show there back in February, the first show, and then the owner of the venue, the manager, gave me 7 other dates, and the next date that we did was Barbara Streisand, and we sold that one out too. Why? Because it's name recognition. People recognize the name. They're going to come. So awareness.
Yeah.
Awareness. And for a charity, it's more important to get the awareness than to get the donation.
Yeah.
Because the donation will be one and done. They won't know who you are if you're lucky to get the first time. What I create is the awareness so they know who you are, what you are, how they can get in touch with you, how they can support you, how do they become a volunteer. And I'm not looking to upset any organization's apple cart in regards to the events that they have during the course of the year. They have 5K runs, they have walkathons, they have casino nights. Sure. They do, what else did I write down here? They have whatever it is that they do. I'm not changing it. All right. If it works for you, do it. Just add and find out what it is that we do. What's so bad about creating an extra date and making yourself another $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 for one night and having people recognize who you are?
Right.
What's so terrible?
What's the downside? Yeah. There's.
It can be a downside. No, and there can be. I got to be honest. There can be a downside if you do things your way. When you do things your way, you do things your way the second time you do it. Because if you don't like the first way, all right, change it.
But what
you might not have me to change it with, but
I was going to say, why reinvent the wheel? You're working with the master here. You're working with somebody with decades of experience.
Because people do. People always feel that they know better.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's fine. It's okay, to go that way and feel that way, but they owe it to themselves to at least have a conversation to find out what it's all about. And believe me, we're busy.
Yeah,
I already have even without Lori, and we got shows with Lori for next year. Without Lori, I got easily 8, 9 concerts already, and we're in October. I book my shows, by the way, 4 to 6 months in advance.
Yep.
It's nothing that happens right away. I mean, in your case, being in Denver, who would I put on your show? John Denver.
right?
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's so perfect for where you are and where you live.
Yeah.
What a name.
I know it would be. That's the one that I'm focused on too. We got to find the right.
They
venue.
don't know who you are. The people don't know who you are, but they know who John Denver is. So
Right.
they're going to follow John Denver. And guess what? They're going to find you.
Yep.
And then when they find you, there's the awareness.
Love it. I love it. And
How am I doing, Lori? Am I doing okay?
Doing great. You're doing great. And yes, we've been talking about that John Denver concert. I would like
That's right.
So Lori, you obviously with the Lori Landon Foundation, you have obviously fundraising is a thing. Even before you met up with Norman and started down that awesome road, you've been raising awareness and raising funds and doing all this for your foundation for forever. So what tips do you have for somebody with a nonprofit for fundraising, and like what's worked for you?
Well, I'll be honest with you. It hasn't been forever. I was official a year and a half ago.
Oh,
so only
that's right.
But what we have
It just
done
feels like it's been a long time.
It's been forever because we've accomplished miraculous things.
Yeah, it feels like longer. Yeah.
And fundraising has been very difficult for me, honestly. Most of our funding has come from my pocket. There have been donations when I put out special, things on social media requesting help, and talking to people, or I tried GoFundMe. It didn't work very well, honestly. But I've tried many different things like that, where I have tried to express what the needs were and what we needed. And I struggled with it. Yeah. And that's why when I went to that first meeting with NRG and I met Norman and he got me on a call right after that meeting, it was like, this is it. This is it.
Lori is the perfect person and charity for me to help. You see, and I'm just interrupting you, Lori, and I apologize. There's a reason. Lori is literally, with no BS, she is an actual angel sent from God to this world to help the people that she helps. You got to know. Now, Jeff, you're close. But you're working on being an angel. But she has made it to being an angel. The work that she does, which she hasn't even explained yet, the work that she does, it's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable how this woman operates, and she's true to her word, and she spends her own money. That's not, it shouldn't be that way.
No.
Shouldn't be that way. And that's why I do what it is that I do, because it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah,
exactly.
And he was a gift, and truly for any nonprofit. And I share this with a lot of people that I speak with that are either in nonprofits or looking at doing them. There's multiple ways you can do it working with Norman. You can go straight in and do it full on just as your own nonprofit, or you can partner with another nonprofit. And I've offered that opportunity to many people as well, where I would partner with them. We could do it together, raise awareness, raise funds for both organizations, which is beautiful.
Laurie, why don't you tell everybody what you're doing in Seattle?
Yeah, okay. There's so much creativity that can happen with his model, with his business. And it's so perfect, so beautiful for what we do. In Seattle, we have a concert on November 18th. It's actually in Silverdale, which is near Seattle. And we're actually partnering with a PTA at a high school there. And this is going to create an opportunity for my foundation, or for myself, to serve the schools across the nation, doing this specific way of creating this event. We're partnering with the PTA. All they need to do is help us secure the venue, sell tickets because they're on the ground, they're at the school, they can promote, and find vendors and sponsors from their community. And they get to have money given back for each ticket sold and from each of the sponsors. And so when we put it all together, if they sell out the theater, they're going to make about $5,000 to $6,000 without putting any money out.
Wow.
And so it's a way for us to create not only awareness and generate funds for serving people around the world through the foundation, but it allows me to give back to the schools. I was a music and theater teacher for 16 years in the schools. So my heart is there, and I know the fundraising process of the schools. I know what's needed. I know where it's needed. And we can partner with PTAs. We can partner with music departments, theater departments, sporting boosters, anyone who fundraises in the schools could become a partner. And it allows us to give back to the schools across the country and to serve the students. So it's just, it's just been a perfect, it's a win-win where we can, it helps the foundation and it helps us serve the U.S. in their need, because every country has different needs, and school systems are a need. They need funding, and it's perfect. It's just become beautiful. We're taking a Journey tribute concert up to Washington. And the other thing that we've been able to do, and this is where that creativity comes in that I love so much. Norman brought this brilliant idea up. And in this particular high school, they have what's called a battle of the bands, and they have student rock bands. And I taught everything in music. So I've taught all of these different kinds of classes and groups. So it has my heart. And so the winner of the Battle of the Band competition is going to open the act for the Journey tribute.
Oh.
So they're going to perform first on the stage before the Journey band comes out. And it's just so exciting. I mean, I get chills because I know how my students would feel if they had that opportunity, It would have just
awesome.
See, what Lori is talking about, I do a lot. I will take an autistic organization and I will go to the autistic organization and say, do you have a choir? Do you have a chorus? Do you have a marching band? Do you have anything like that at all? And we put the kids on stage. And then the audience gets to see what the charity is really doing and how they're helping.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's perfect. When he mentioned that idea, it was just like, I'm grasping everything from Norman because he's brilliant. And it's exactly in line with who I am and what my past has been. It ties everything together. It ties
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. That's it.
No, you can't, you couldn't learn from anybody better, really, honestly. To have the background and all that behind partnering with Norman and being able to stand up, what's the saying? Stand on the shoulders of giants, right? You learn from his experience and then use that work together to do this work is just phenomenal.
I'm only as good as the charity that I'm helping. Okay, because if I'm doing everything, all right, I might as well just do my own concerts.
Well, that's true.
I don't do that. I do everything but.
Right.
And the but is the selling of the ticket. I don't have the time. I don't have the wherewithal. I'm not in your town.
Yeah.
I can't do that. That's why I have my index finger, and my index finger goes out. And I hit the button, and then the word starts to spread. And then once somebody gets it, they send it to somebody else, who sends it to somebody else. And by the way, hey, Carol, I'm going to go see Frank Sinatra and Barbara Streisand. Do you and your husband want to come? Bingo, 4 tickets sold. See you later.
Nice. All right, Norman, how do people get a hold of you again? What's that number?
My phone number is 631-698-9696. That's 631-698-9696. And if you'd like to email me, it's Norman@friend, FRIEND, no S, friend, ENTUSA.com. And I am on the East Coast. I take phone calls all the time, except for 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And like Lori calls and she'll say, "Oh, I didn't realize what time it is." I thought it was just.
I'm pretty good with time zones.
Yes, you are.
Time zones, yeah, it's.
Yes, you are.
I work all over the world. I have to know time zones.
Oh man. Okay, guys. Here's what we got to do. We're going to break one more time, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about hope. How this is bringing hope to people in the world, because it is, and you guys are amazing. And between Lori and Norman, and I hope you guys are taking notes out there, because anybody with a nonprofit, seriously, this is your avenue right here. So let's go to one more break, and then we will come back and we're going to talk a little bit more, and we'll get the word out about all this amazing things going on. We'll see you soon. right, welcome back, everybody. It always amazes me how fast the time goes. We're so
Okay.
I know it's crazy. It should really be a 2 or 3 hour show with you two. That's honestly, we we could do a whole 2 hour special just with Norman and Lori. Maybe we will. Who knows? Let's talk about it. I don't know. But I'm trying. So just to kind of recap the show here, we're gonna finish up here in about 10 or 12 minutes, and I wanna make sure we get everything out so that people can reach out to you and know how to get a hold of you and start talking about these concerts, because nonprofit, I mean, this is like the perfect formula, honestly. If everybody does their part, this is the perfect formula. And you've got it so well formatted, Norman, that if you follow the directions and don't try to reinvent the wheel, it works. So, which is phenomenal. So tell us one more time, how do people get a hold of you? What's the best way to get a hold of you, Norman?
Before I just get into that, I just want to mention something which is very near and dear to me, and it's made me reach a new level. I just so that people know as well, you need a venue. And everybody always worries about where they can go for a venue. Your venue is staring you right in your face and you don't realize it. People think that they need to go commercial and go into a venue that has 500, 700 seats. They're going to pay $4,000 or $5,000 for the use of the venue, if not more. And that's great. It's great. But how about if I tell you that you can get the same venue, another venue with maybe 800 or 1,000 seats, and it's right in your neighborhood? It's called your school. The school's rent. Excuse me. So if you're looking for a venue, you go to your school. And then what you can do when you secure the venue, then you get a hold of the PTA like Lori was telling you, and you get a hold of the Booster Club. That becomes your army to go out there and help you sell tickets, because that's the boots on the ground. But the point I was going to make, I have reached a venue, not me, my charity, reached a venue, and they hired us. It's a place called the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. That's where we're going to be. Ready for this? Sit down. Are you sitting?
I'm sitting.
Okay. Taylor Swift and Bruno Mars. That's the show.
Awesome.
Yes, you folks out there can have a show just like two, and you'd be very surprised how inexpensive a show can be like that. But look at the price of the ticket that you can get because of the quality of the talent that's going to be on the show.
Man.
So
how much are tickets for that one?
That particular show, because of the venue, is so expensive, it's going to be anywhere between $125 and $150. But when you think that Taylor Swift is getting $4,000, you know, they did a survey. To have a seat at a Taylor Swift concert all the way in the back of the auditorium is $1,116 on an average price. $1,116.
My daughter it's funny you mentioned that, because my daughter just went and saw Taylor Swift in Denver at Bronco Stadium. I don't know what they call it. They've changed the name of the stadium so many times. At Mile High Stadium for Broncos. 90,000 seats. She was in like the second deck or upper deck or whatever, she's got these giant screens and everything so you can still see, and it's quite the spectacle. But she paid $300 for that ticket, so she got a bargain, sounds like.
Absolutely.
But I mean, $300 for a ticket. I've never paid that much for a concert ticket.
And that's cheap. That's cheap for her.
So
when you talk about the tribute concerts, it's a lot lower price. And when he mentioned the schools, having been a theater director, I was the technician over the theater at our high school. And we had, I believe, probably over 2,000 seats in our high school. It was a big school. But the schools theaters for high schools, especially in California anyway, are amazing. They're really a beautiful venue for a concert. And so when he brought that up and he says, let's use schools, it's like perfect, because they have the equipment, they have the seating, they have the staging, they have the curtains, they have the whole works for a beautiful concert.
So we want our seats I want seats. The more seats you give me, the more money I can help you make, the more awareness I can create. Now, can I do a show also at 400 and 500 seats? Absolutely.
Just don't make as much profit.
But you don't make as much.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, as many times as I've talked to you guys about this, I keep forgetting about schools. You even sent me, Lori, a big long list of all these venues in the area. And I keep thinking, oh yeah, that would be cool, but I bet it's expensive. And I keep thinking, there's some big school districts in Colorado Springs here.
The first thing I said to you, Jeff, if you remember, was I just need a school. I need a school that has a theater. I need about 800 seats or more would be perfect. But I will tell you, having been a teacher in all levels, in California, high school theaters are bigger than even college theaters.
Oh, okay.
In some places, absolutely.
It's so
probably
easy
already told me that too.
A school venue, and having been from Kansas, I know even our small towns had beautiful theaters that would have worked perfectly for a concert. So it's not hard to find a venue. They're so right there. All of us have some connection to someone in a school. It's not a difficult task.
All right, Jeff, now it's mandated that you got to call your school, not tomorrow, not Saturday, not Sunday, today.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
I know. Now
I can talk to them. We can talk to them and explain it. It's so easy.
I have no more excuses. I'm done. I'm out. I got no more excuses. You've just completely pulled the rug out from every excuse I ever had. So I'm going to call. I am today. I'm writing it down. I got it right here on a sticky note. I'm writing it down and I'm calling them. There's 2 or 3 high schools I'm going to call today.
That'd be beautiful.
So we're doing it.
They all rent. Every one of them will tell you, yes, we do rent the school. And if you Google it, let's say ABC High School, all right, in theater, auditorium, rental, it'll pop up any one of those categories.
Yeah. And there's, that's what's really cool about this town is it's big, but it's not Denver big, right? So it's small enough that I think I'll be able to find.
When I was in high school, I was in Kansas, and we actually toured and performed, and we came to Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
And we stayed there for like 4 days. We were there touring and performing in Colorado Springs area.
And anybody with children in a school, there's your connection. You've already got the connection. My kids went to the same schools. All 3 of them went up into the same middle school and elementary. So it's not like you don't have connection. So yeah. Okay,
and if they're in the PTA, great. If they're not, they might be able to direct you to a music teacher or a theater teacher or a sports boosters, or any of those areas can use money. So it would be perfect.
Exactly. All right. I'm in. I mean, not that I wasn't before, but now I have no excuse. You've called me on the carpet. Norman's probably gonna text me later and say, "Who'd you call?"
I'm gonna be all over you.
Yeah, you will.
I have no doubt.
I am a pain in the butt.
Hey, it's all right. It's good. It's a good.
That's why I am. That's what sometimes people just need a push.
Sometimes. Thank you for the push. Yes, I almost fell off my chair here for a second. You pushed me so hard. Yeah, it's good. All right. So we have believe it or not, we have about 2 minutes, 3 minutes left, and we're done. So we gotta let's get some last information out there. Lori, tell us how to get a hold of you and what we can do to help.
Okay, so my phone number is 916-660-2039, 916-660-2039. And my email is lori@lorilundeen.com. So it's just my name. And lori@lorilundeen.com. And if it's easier for you, it's lorilandon.com. Either way is fine. Works perfectly. And yeah, reach out. If you would like to know more about my foundation, that would be fabulous. I would love to share and talk with you. We can set up a Zoom call and meet. If you have a venue and would like us to come and do a concert near you, that would be amazing. I plan to go all over the country, and I would love to come to each of your areas and bring Norman and all of the beautiful talent that we choose together. It would be a really fun opportunity to get together and meet you in person. So
Amazing.
that would be beautiful. If you would like to contribute to a charity, definitely reach out. We definitely need help with donations. And we have, in fact, people right now that we're needing medical care. So we could use that help as well.
And then you can get to see me in my glitter jackets.
Woo!
That's great. I'm so excited for that one.
All right, Norman, you're
on
up.
stage. Good to go. Okay. My name again is Norman Wasserman. My company name is Friend Entertainment USA. Go check out my website. It's hot. It's www.friendentusa.com. My phone number again, 631-698-9696. That's 631-698-9696. I'm worth a phone call. There's no obligation. I can help you. I can support you. I can maybe show you a couple of things. Maybe you don't need to do a concert. Maybe you just need to do a couple other things. I'm happy to give you my advice.
Phenomenal. And seriously, guys, these are the two you want to talk to. I sometimes it doesn't take long knowing somebody to know that they're the real deal and they're here to help. And these are two of the most genuine, giving, loving people I've ever met. They're here to help and they're here to help you. Nobody gives out their phone number on TV. This is crazy. So anybody that does that must be legit. And I'm telling you, reach out to them. Thank you, Norman. Thank you, Lori. I am so thankful that you've been here.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for the opportunity.
This has been phenomenal. And Lori, I know I'll see you soon in person.
I will be there in Denver.
In Denver, yep, coming up later in October. And Norman, I would love to see you in person someday.
Actually, you're going to, because you're going to call that school and you're going to get a date, and then you're going to get to see me real fast.
Okay, all right. Well, that's my goal.
And this is recorded, so I got you live. I got you recorded.
Yeah, it's forever. It's forever recorded now. So everybody, don't let me get away with that. All right. Thank you so much, guys. We'll be in touch soon. All right. All right, everybody. Golly, I seriously, sometimes I wish I had a 2 or 3 hour show because we could have kept going all morning with that. So anyway, all right. Next show, we got an awesome show coming up. You are not going to. And by the way, go like, share, subscribe, follow YouTube, Facebook. Go check it out. We've got every episode on all the social media, going all the way back to the beginning. We're in season 2 now, which is super exciting. But go back and watch some of your favorites. If you have a favorite, repost it, share it to everybody. It's there forever. Next show on Tuesday, October 10th, is going to be 2 doctors. I can't even believe we got them on the show. It's going to be phenomenal. Tanya Lee and Dr. Greg Eckel are going to be talking to us about bioenergetics. I almost couldn't say it. Bioenergetics. I'm not really 100% sure what that is. Let's learn together. Let's do it. So we'll see you on Tuesday, October 10th at 10 a.m. Mountain Time for the show. Till then, have a wonderful day.